This is a genuine VL Calais Turbo. This is a very, very special car, not just for the channel, but for me personally. This is a real dream car, and I have driven a lot of cars across the channel, but this one is probably the most that I would yearn to own. As cool as the Tiranas and the Kingswoods are that I've had on the channel, this is a real highlight. This is the car for my generation. And this particular one has had a full nut and bolt restoration from zero, bare metal, everything. It is absolutely perfect. It's not an exaggeration to say that this car is perfect. There is not one mark, not one scratch, nothing. Nothing. It is absolutely perfect. And on top of that, it's a genuine Calais and it's genuine turbo, and it has standard turbo running gear. Now let's start with one of the most iconic parts of this car, the front end. What makes this different from a normal VL? Well, it's pretty obvious. The whole front end is completely different than a standard VL. We have these pop-up headlights, which are super cool. This front end was only on the Calais, and they also have this very strange, actually, clear grille. Now, I'm not sure what was going on there, and I'm not sure why it's clear, but it is really interesting to see that in person. While I mentioned this car has been restored, it has not been done with rare spares or anything like that. Everything on this car is new old stock or has been repaired. For example, the glass has been taken out, professionally buffed. We've had all the dents pulled out of the chrome. Everything on this car is unreal. It's phenomenal. If I was a P-plater 10 years earlier, this is what I would have bought for sure. These cars were actually not worth a ton of money, believe it or not that long ago. I mean, they were never worth nothing, but, you know, one like this, unrestored, but, you know, in good nick, would probably be around 10 grand or so, maybe 10 years ago, something like that. Now, the VL Calais, which is what this is, was the absolute top of the line with the normal VL series. It is it has so many creature comforts inside, which we'll go over later. And externally, other than the front end, we also have these stripes that run along the back of the garnish here, and it says Calais in the middle. Now, one of the most iconic badges on here is the turbo. Now, the turbo is the most sought after, one of the most powerful versions of the VL that you could get. This one, 150 kilowatts when it was brand new. Again, that doesn't sound like anything crazy by today's standards, but this is in the 80s. But one of my absolute favorite features of this car is, I'll be back in a second, just watch headlights. How cool is that? VL Calais Turbo, even when brand new, was a very popular car, and it has really been popular forever. It's quite rare to find one like this that is completely stock. And look, I know the wheels are different. The owner does have the original wheels, but it's had a bit of a brake upgrade, so the original wheels don't fit. But these are very 2000. If you were a P-plater 20 years ago, this is what you would have had, the VX GTS wheels. And I don't know, I think they really suit it. It's also worth talking about how clean this boot is. All of the carpet is spotless, complete. And like I said, because it's had a full restoration, all of the paint underneath is absolutely perfect. And of course, we have our original spare wheel. As I mentioned before, it's just such a privilege to be able to drive something like this. 36 years later or so, this car drives so nice. It runs like an absolute dream. One of the most exciting parts for me, though, is under here. Now, before we talk about the engine specifically, let's just talk about the condition of this engine bay. It is spotless. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It really is immaculate in here. And the owner of this car has gone above and beyond, even with every bolt is all the originals. They have gone to great lengths to keep this in tip-top condition, and it shows. It is absolutely phenomenal. We do have our factory crossover pipe there that says turbo, a Holden rocker cover. Very cool car. Now, if you're not familiar why this is here rather than a 202. Now, back in the late 80s, it was time for a new motor from, I think it was January 1st, 1986. All cars in Australia had to be run on unleaded petrol, and Holden had the straight six going for around 25 years, so it was time for a change. But they didn't have a motor ready, so they did a deal with Nissan to bring this in. Many argue that this is one of the best Holden sixes that ever come out. This car is perfect. Even with this much age, this car runs like an absolute dream. It really is perfect. They are great engines. The naturally aspirated ones had around 112 kilowatts. This one, turbo, 150 kilowatts from the factory. Far outpacing the carbureted 304 V8 that you could get in these. But Very, very cool cars. And this, an LW5 Turbo Calais, is one of the most desirable models of the VL, along with the yellow BT1 Interceptor. If you don't know, these were the same running gear that was in the Skylines of the time, the R31. And the diff out of the VL is a little bit higher geared than out of the Skyline. So a lot of these were donated back to work in the Skyline. So yeah, very cool car, guys. I mean, this is a dream car. A bit of a pinch me moment to be experiencing some time with, not just any VL Calais, a genuine VL Calais Turbo that is perfect. I mean, this is as close to a brand new VL Calais you're gonna get. It really is phenomenal. This car, it's unreal. Not all restorations are made equal, but this one, there is weeks, but this one there is months, and I mean months, just in the bodywork, making it straight. The photos really do not do it justice. It's better than a new car. It really is phenomenal. One of the iconic parts of modifying VLs is that noise, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. This one doesn't have that noise, but that is because they have sacrificed that noise, as cool as it is, to have the factory crossover pipe. The VL and the VL Calais are such important parts of Australian motoring. Guys, the interior in this car is beyond special. So let's talk about some of the features that are exclusive to the Calais. Well, the big one is the steering wheel. That is exclusive to this car. It's like a big circle with just a join right at the bottom. The carpet on the glove box, I believe, is unique to this car. The seats, they are so comfortable, and there is just carpet and plush everywhere in this car. It is really well appointed. It's got electric mirrors, electric windows, and this is the mid-80s. I actually have a bit of a story to share with you guys. Back in the day, one of my mates' dads was buying a new car in the late 80s, and they still had the VL runouts, and they had the VN Calais, and he went and drove the VN Calais and went and drove the VL Calais, and decided to buy the older VL Calais because he said it was much smoother than Holden's new V6. And as somebody who loves VNs, it's true. These cars are so smooth. It is unbelievable. It really is. I'm almost speechless, guys. I don't know what to tell you, because this car is just a cultural icon, the VL Calais Turbo. I mean, how well does that roll off the tongue? One of my favorite parts in here is the fact that it says Calais Turbo on the badges here on the radio surround, and this car has its original radio. It's only got 100,000 Ks on the cluster. Just everything in here works. Another thing of note, if you're not in the VL Calais world, this car had new old stock electric headlights, the things that pop up. Those alone are worth thousands of dollars. This is not a $10,000, $15,000 build. We're talking a lot more than that. There's more money in just paint prep than that in this car. So this would be up there on the channel in terms of big dollar cars, and I love it. I love it so much. It's so cool, guys. It really is genuinely a very, very special car. But let's stop talking and let's take it for a drive. I am bloody excited to show you guys this. Let's take it for a drive. One thing that is really cool about this is, of course, we have our turbo keychain, but we also have a genuine GM key. So like I said, oh yeah, it's a stock running gear car. So we're not dosing all over the place. But the biggest thing with this car, and I will do a sort of point of view video for you as well, but the biggest thing with these VLs is just how astonishingly smooth they are. And that is not an exaggeration. I really do mean that with everything that I have. They are crazy smooth. All right, like I said, there's my fancy electric windows. Like I said, you guys might not be able to hear the turbo whistle. I can hear it in this car. I can definitely hear it, but you probably won't be able to, just because of the wind noise and stuff. But man, they're cool. I would love to own one of these cars. As much as I have loved every car that I've had on the channel, and that is 1000% true, it really is. I have liked every car. I wouldn't bother doing a video on it if I didn't like it. However, the ones that I would add to my own personal collection, if I could afford one like this, which I can't, would be this. This is probably, at the time of recording, my number one that I would like. It's just so cool. It's so, just everything about it. It feels, you know, this is the Aussie Ferrari. And, you know, like I said, in stock form, they're not crazy fast, but they're fast enough. They're not slow. You know, 150 kilowatts doesn't sound like a lot, but the car weighs nothing. Just a really, really cool piece of history, guys, this thing. And, you know, we've got cruise control, we've got electric windows, you know, we've got everything that you'd need. We have it. It's a gorgeous example of one of my favorite cars of all time. And I keep saying I'd like a VL. I think I need to change it. I think I need to say I need a VL. I need one of these in my life. It's like driving a supercar, you know. I've just been driving this for a few minutes and I've already gotten, everyone's looking at it, taking photos and giving you thumbs up and stuff. It's yeah, I love it, guys. It's a real beauty. I love the badging. If it was my personal car, probably the only thing, and I completely understand why the owner has done it because of the big brakes, I'd probably have the original wheels on it, the Calais wheels. But I do think that these wheels suit it as well in sort of like an early 2000s P-plate kind of thing, which is exactly, I think, what the owner would have had. When he did. He did tell me that he used to have a VL Calais wagon. Again, another very rare car. But yeah, guys, it's a very, very special car. I will do a point of view driving one, so if that's your kind of thing, you can follow along seeing what I'm seeing. I'm going to do that in a second, but astonishingly cool experience to drive one of these, guys. It's just crazy how good. Yeah, I've also heard a few stories that when Ford heard about the VL, and you know, they bought a VL and disassembled it, they were like, oh, we've got a bit of competition here. They probably didn't anticipate that Holden would go to the Japanese for a motor, and they knew what they were doing big time. Very, very special car, guys, and worth an absolute fortune. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I have enjoyed it. I hope you can see it written all over my face. It's a crazy, crazy special car, and it's a dream come true. And I would love to own one of these, and I will own one of these if the channel keeps going the way it's going. I'm definitely going to be buying something. It's probably not going to be as nice as this one. This one is as good as a new one. But absolute dream car, guys. Very, very cool. If you guys like these kind of videos, or you'd like your car on the channel, then please feel free to get in touch. Otherwise, thank you for liking, commenting and subscribing, and thank you guys for continuing to follow along and make things like this possible. Because, I mean, just talking about selfishly, this is a real experience. So thank you very, very much.